Hi, I'm Jimmy Colefax, and this is The Story. Our guest today is once again Steve Fogg, who's originally from England. Before the break, we heard how Steve went from being a communications director for one of Australia's largest churches to being that church's online pastor. Next, Steve breaks down exactly how online church ministry works and also takes a look at the future and where this is all heading. Steve's chatting with Eric Scudabo.
So how does it work? So they watch something, they come across something on Facebook?
Might be, Facebook, through Google search, through YouTube, through TikTok even. We've started a TikTok channel, believe it or not. There are no dancing pastors on there, I promise.
Okay, very good.
But really,
but if it worked.
but it works as a venue, a channel of communication.
Yeah. And at some point, they make contact with you? You have email, or how do they contact you?
Absolutely. So they can dive into the chat while the service is going on.
Oh, live.
We've got
live
they
chat.
can send us prayer requests. We've got live prayer if they want to be able to pray in a service context. During the week, people are messaging me through Facebook. I got an email this morning from someone that lives in California, actually, Kim. And Kim's been watching us for some time, and he finally got brave and stepped out of the what I call digital lurking into the public kind of, hey, I'm Kim, I'm from California, and I watch you every week, and I'd like to become a member. So, so you've got that kind of declaration that happens, and so really in that kind of idea of what a church is, and technology is really just a vehicle. Digital is just the vehicle to make ministry, to do ministry, really. So we are married to the mission. We are married to the gospel getting out, but we date the strategy of how we do that. So we need to be flexible in our methods, just like we have been with a church like Crossway, just like you are with radio. The methods need to be adaptable. And just like you're probably going out on digital, and we might cut a piece of content up for later on or something like that. Really,
that stuff is being done. I know nothing about it, but I know it happens.
Yeah, and that's the reality, right? So, but it's just a vehicle because we want people to discover who Jesus is. And that's really the heart behind it. It's really just, for now, the vehicle for now. In 20 years' time, I'm sure we're going to be wearing goggles, or we're going to be wearing glasses, and we're going to be in some sort of augmented reality world where we'll need to...
Oh, you are a thinker. I don't think about these things.
Yeah, we'll need to be in some sort of adaptive...
But we could attend church in some digital alternative world, or what would that be called, where people have these glasses on?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, so already now, every major digital kingdom, as I call them, Google, Facebook... Meta, as it's known now, Microsoft, are all developing VR goggles, which will then become glasses like you and I would wear, where we will have something called virtual reality and augmented reality.
That's the term I was searching for. So you could be in your home, in your living room, but virtually having these glasses on, being in a congregation of 1,000, worshiping the Lord.
Yeah, so already now, there's a church in the United States called VR Church. VR Church is so just to blow everybody's mind a little bit. Yes. VR Church lives
my mind.
in virtual reality. So what that means is everyone looks like an animation through the goggles. So it's not real. But it's personas.
So it's like cartoon.
Yeah, like cartoon or stylized computer image of what they make themselves look like, which can be a little bit wild and wonderful. But again, these are people...
Yeah, kind of different,
but very different. But also, these are people who have genuine questions of faith. So that mission field looks very different. We're just using technology to serve the mission. And so there are churches out there who are doing their church service in virtual reality. They're doing their small groups in virtual reality.
Wait a second. So instead of seeing the pastor, a live human being, I'm seeing like a cartoon version of him?
Yeah, you'd see...
And then it's actually him talking in real time.
Yeah, so it might be a screen at the moment. The technology is, it might be a screen of a video, so that'll look real. But the people around who are watching it are kind of,
so
cartoon version.
These are people all over the world who have goggles on as well?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yep. So again, it's not quite commercialized yet. It's not millions of people but it's thousands of people.
Thousands, wow.
Okay. And it's people who are genuinely exploring faith. And one of the wonderful things about online, even for us at Crossway and methods that we use, is people are very transparent very quickly.
Is that right?
So it's not like, and the same in VR, same for my world. It's people, the social niceties that we have here, face to face. Online, people just get straight to the point.
Oh, is that right?
I'm struggling with XYZ. Can you pray for me? I have
no chit chat, just right to the point.
Straight to the point. Whether it's a young man that contacted me because he was suffering from profound addiction. And there was no 15-minute conversation to get to that point. It was, I'm struggling with this. Can you help me with this? And I reached out to churches where he was located in another state in Australia, and we got him help for his addiction.
That's fantastic.
It's really just a vehicle for ministry, whether it's that.
But that's a snapshot of what you do every day. People are regularly contacting you from all over the world.
Every local
questions, problems.
Yeah, questions, problems. Every pastoral conversation that you have in real life, you'll have online, except it seems to be accelerated in terms of people feel connected to the point where there's that invisible wall where they feel like they can have an honest conversation with you. And it's, again, we're 100% private. We don't share the information with anybody.
That's another advantage you have, anonymity. Whereas somebody like, well, I don't want to admit to somebody I have such and such embarrassing problem. But if I can remain anonymous, I can share all my problems.
Yeah, it's interesting because often they're not anonymous. That I can see who they are.
Okay.
So I know their name. Sometimes I met them in real life if they're local, but often not. But it's that sense of they feel safe. And we create an environment where we want people to feel safe. Because I'd want to pray for someone. I want them to feel safe and know that it's 100% confidential. We're not going to share this with the world. Only if they want to share it with some other people, then we'll share it. But that's the reality that both online and in person, we really want that kind of that safe space for people to take steps of faith.
And sometimes you actually pick up the phone and call people?
Rarely. Yeah, rarely.
Oh, okay.
Rarely calling, but we might do a Facebook Messenger call.
Oh, okay.
We might do a WhatsApp call.
Oh, what was I thinking?
Yeah. So we might do...
I'm too old-fashioned.
Yeah, so a Zoom call. Even,
okay. Okay.
Very, very old school Zoom.
Yeah.
But all kinds of different ways to talk to people. So whether it's someone in Hong Kong who contacted me this week, they want to get connected into a community. And again, they're exploring faith. And okay, sure.
People are searching all over.
All over, every single minute of every single day. The harvest is plenty. That digital harvest is there.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in digital mission and you've got a passion to reach people, just like on radio, just like on TV, we're all in it together to reach people for Jesus. And really, that's my heart. I'm an evangelist at heart.
Now, getting back to your story, unfortunately, we're running out of time here, but how did it go once you started to do this?
Yeah, well, becoming a Christian has changed my world. Reading the Bible. So I'm a tragic mammal.
What does that mean?
A mammal is a middle-aged man in Lycra. So I love cycling. And so I'm at that age where I need to do exercise. And so I get up at ridiculously early. And so I read my Bible before that. I share my thoughts with our online community. I go for a bike ride in the morning.
Wow.
So my life's very different. I can honestly say that Jesus has transformed my life in a way that I would never have expected. And he can do it for anyone who's listening today. Anyone who's listening today, if they're open to actually encountering Jesus, to reading the Bible, to getting into a relationship with others, to help them explore faith, that's available for everybody. I was shown the way, just so as it happens, by my wife and by a community of faith around me. And again, with the pandemic happening, there's a lot of people who...
Yeah, that's a whole other topic where, suddenly everybody was on Zoom. Yeah. I mean, I'm having conversations and interviews with 80-year-old little old ladies who are now on Zoom conversations. Oh, I lead my Bible study via Zoom.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so it's just kind of changed everything.
Yeah.
How did it change your world?
It changed it in not as big as you think. It's because we were already doing online ministry. So the reality is Crossway was perfectly placed for the pandemic. But in terms of the tens of thousands of churches that weren't, for me personally, it just meant that I remember in March 2020, the reality of really lots of churches contacted me saying, help. And after 3 weeks, I realized that, oh my goodness, this problem is so much bigger than me, spending one-on-one time with people. So I need to get everyone that I know who's in digital ministry, and we need to help. So 4 weeks later, something called the Church Online Summit was born. We're just trying to provide a free resource for people that they could go along to and just get some help with the basics, like how do you set up a camera? How do you do audio? How do you
Suddenly,
do lighting?
everybody had to become experts at this.
Overnight, literally around the world. The scale that a lot of people don't realize, it was boggling. So, we went from just the idea of doing something together to doing it in a month online. And we had 4,500 churches, so probably about 10,000 people in total attend this online summit for just to learn the basics of digital ministry. And I've done that every year since, just to serve the capital C church around the world, just to help people where they're at. Yeah. Because digital mission isn't going away. And that's really the reality, is that we're in this new digital age, and churches, wherever they are, big, small, all have a part to play in furthering the cause of Jesus online. And that's really the heart behind why we did it. But also another reason was, for the few of us that have been doing it for a while, we just didn't want to burn out. So we wanted to spread that load in terms of the available time. And, a lot of churches have actually, unfortunately, stopped doing it.
Oh, is that right?
And they're missing out on the opportunity, because people are much more likely to explore faith online than come to your church physically.
Is that right?
Much more likely. That's going to be their starting point. So if you think about a church on mission, yes, tick. Most churches would agree with that statement. But the reality is, people will check you out online first before they come along. And I had one story of one of my online hosts who manages our chat. He invited a Sikh man along to our church, and the Sikh man said, I'm not going to go to your church. I'm a Sikh man. Yeah. And it was more his fear than actually what was at church. And so the host invited him to our church online, and he attended. And he said he felt the presence of God there.
Oh, wow.
So that's really just kind of one kind of example. Yeah. Another example is an older couple one day on a Tuesday morning, I remember it well, they walked into church, and they're kind of looking at the ceiling. When they're kind of you can tell they're new.
Yeah, looking around.
Right? Like looking around, and it's just, okay, walked over them. Hi, I'm Pastor Steve. How are you? Can I help you? And I said, we've been, just driving by, and we thought we'd come and check you out. So we sat down, had a bit of a conversation, and they basically kind of turned to me at one point in the conversation and said, we think we know you. Do we know you from somewhere? And I said, yeah, I'm the online pastor for the church. We saw you online. We saw you online. And that was the moment for them, which was they'd been checking us out online.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And now they're brave enough to come and actually check us out in person. And that's the low-hanging fruit that is there for every church and every community of faith.
Yeah. So now, as nice as it is, not to diminish what you're doing, but we still want people to physically attend church.
We absolutely want people to experience, and
if they can,
define church as a community of believers coming together, whatever shape or size that is. So let's not fall into the stereotype that church is a building. Let's fall into the stereotype that the church is the people of God, the family of God. It's about people. So there are people, like one of our members of our congregation, who lives in the Shetland Islands, on the west coast of Scotland. Yeah. And she calls Crossway her home church.
Really?
Because she finds a community. Now, this is online. Yeah. Okay. And she experiences church. She's got a disability. So for her, it's not an option. Okay. And she lives in the middle of literally nowhere. So she doesn't have that option. She's physically not capable. There'll be people with all kinds of disabilities. It's the only option for. Yeah. So what we wanted to do is facilitate that community with them, alongside them, So it's not just a viewing experience, that they could read the Bible with someone, they can pray with someone, they can grow in their discipleship with someone. And it just so happens that the vehicle is online.
Wow. Well, you have gone on quite an amazing journey from not having a church background at all to being revolutionary, a pioneer in the online church movement. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us today.
Oh, it's great to be here.
Well, that was part 2 of Eric Scatterbo's conversation with online pastor Steve Fogg from Crossway Baptist Church in Melbourne. Steve shared with us his journey of coming from an unchurched background in the UK to being a pioneer in the area of digital church media in Australia. To contact Steve and to find out more about his ministry, you can go to his church's website. It's crossway.org.au. Once again, that's crossway.org.au. Finally, we'll end today with this Bible verse from the book of Acts. Jesus said to his disciples, "You will be my witnesses in Jerusalem and in all of Judea and Samaria and to the ends of the earth." Well, that is still our mission as Christians today, to share about Jesus to the ends of the earth. But now with digital media, there are going to be new and creative ways of going about this. These are exciting times we live in, full of tremendous opportunities to help those who are searching for answers to life's big questions all over the world. And it's up to us as Christians to meet these new challenges and to be flexible enough to adapt to these new possibilities, both as individuals and collectively as a church. I pray that we rise up to meet this challenge. Well, thanks for joining us for part 2 of Steve Fogg's story and his fascinating look into the future. Until next time, I'm Jimmy Colefax, encouraging you to share your story with someone today.
The Story. Just another way Vision is helping you look to God daily.